Hello there, and happy St. Patrick's Day to you. We hope you're having a glorious day. Welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. I'm Debbie Georgiani with Jerry Usher, and as we have been saying for almost 7 years, you are the key person. And today we have just a special broadcast planned for you. We hope you call in, and we hope we have a lively discussion about St. Patrick's Day and about our heritage and our legacy and our culture and just all sorts of things that make us unique, and we can celebrate together as the body of Christ. Jerry, I love St. Patrick's Day. This is a glorious week because St. Patrick's Day and then 2 days later is St. Joseph's Day. It doesn't really get much better than that.
Yeah, and they very often fall right in the middle of Lent, which is a nice opportunity for us to remember that we are not only called to the penitential life and the season of Lent, but also we have these little glimpses on the saints' feast days, especially, like you said, St. Joseph, glorious feast day falling on a Saturday this year. But today, yeah, it is St. Patrick's Day. Are you wearing green? Are you going to drink we are. Are you going to have a green beer? Are you going to have some corned beef and cabbage? If you are of Irish descent, you must call in today. This is your show, and we would like to hear, your how proud you are to be of Irish descent, even part Irish descent. But what we're doing today is, since the Irish always get the spotlight on St. Patrick's Day, we thought we would open it up to whatever heritage you are. If you would like to call in and just celebrate your own heritage, your lineage today on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. Irish or not, you can call 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986.
I like the way you said that. Irish or not, you can call in. Mm-hmm. That's so cool. Yes, and it is St. Patrick's Day, and we hope you are really planning something beautiful with your family and friends. It's a wonderful day to celebrate St. Patrick, great saint. Super excited to be able to have this show dedicated to our, like Jerry said, our lineage. That we feel very tied to, the culture that we grew up in, the one that was passed down to us, the one that we understand so intimately, right? By the food and the family and the friends and the faith, okay, which is all part of heritage. And so we want to broaden that discussion today just so that we can open it up to the whole entire world. You don't have to be Catholic to call in. You don't have to be Irish to call in. Although if you are Irish, Jerry put that challenge out there. You better call in at 833-288-3986. Look at the phone lines go, Jerry. It looks like a Christmas tree in March. Perfect for the green.
It does, yeah. Actually, only 2 phone lines still open, so get on board. You can call that number, 833-288-3986. You can send us an email if you don't have time to make a phone call. Just put a quick email over to us at take2@EWTN.com. If you're among the many watching the video streams on YouTube and Facebook, hello. You can post your comments there, and Jeff Burson will get those over to us. You can post on the show website, take2show.com, and you can also text the letters EWTN to 55000. Might be a small data rate. Just wait for a response. Put in your first name and what you would like to share with us, and we would be happy to relay that along to the Take Two family listening around the world as those phone lines do fill up. 833-288-3986.
We always made it a point in our family. My mom tried to make sure we had corned beef and cabbage. Either we had it at home or we went out to get some good corned beef and cabbage. I have to admit that I love the cabbage part. Absolutely love the cabbage part. The corned beef, I'm not that up on. I know that, Jerry, I think you said you cooked corned beef yesterday in preparation for St. Patrick's Day. But it is just a wonderful way. And food is always a part of the culture. It's always a part of our heritage. I know, I think our listeners may know this by now, given the fact that my last name is Georgiani, although that's my married name, but my maiden name is Rizzio. I'm 100% Italian, 100% Sicilian, actually, which is quite rare, 100%. And food was always a big, big deal. You know, it brings people together, and it really connects, and you know, it allows people to just be and to enjoy and to relax. Would you say that was food a big deal in your family, Jerry?
Yeah, well, with 5 kids, there was always a lot of food on the table, and usually not a lot left on the table when we got done with a meal. Yeah, one of the things that just as an aside, one of the things we used to really enjoy over a dinner is our uncle was, I've mentioned on the show before, a missionary priest in Thailand. And the way of communicating back then, we didn't have FaceTime and social media and all of that. So he would, over the course of days or even weeks, he would run a cassette recorder, and he would record his thoughts and what he was doing and how his ministry was going, and he would send those cassettes over to us. So at meals, we would sometimes listen to his ministry goings on as we enjoyed a great meal. But you're right. And also the faith aspect of it, you know. Today it's the feast of a great Catholic saint who converted so many souls, suffered greatly for it, is so widely known around the world, and yet the world celebrates saints like St. Patrick, St. Francis of Assisi, and many others. So let's talk about the faith element as well, regarding your heritage. You know, if you have some great saints who have helped to bring the faith to your homeland, wherever that happens to be, we're celebrating not just the Irish today, but you, whoever you are, and whatever your heritage is, at 833-288-3986.
Yes, please call us, 833-288-3986, or you can connect with us by email, take2@ewtn.com. We read everything. Jerry and I read everything, and we do try to reply in a timely manner. We're a couple weeks behind, but that's a good situation to have, because that means you guys want to email us. And we welcome that, and we value that. So we don't want to stop that just because we're there's only 2 of us to catch up on all the email. So we want to keep that coming. Just please be patient. So we want to get back to you. But I'll tell you, Jerry, I'm getting older by the second, and that's not a good thing.
Well, as a deacon in our parish says, he says, you're the oldest you've ever been. And he often throws in, you know, hopefully you're the wisest you've ever been as well.
Right.
So we're looking forward. We got a lot of people who want to weigh in on today's topic, celebrating your heritage on St. Patrick's Day, whether it's Irish or otherwise. 833-288-3986.
This is Raymond Arroyo, host of The World Over.
This is Jeanette DeMello from Register Radio.
Get trusted Catholic news every day on EWTN radio and television.
The wisdom of Mother Angelica.
I want to read you something from Galatians. When you were baptized, it was as though you had put on Christ in the same way you put on new clothes. Faith in Christ Jesus is what makes each of you equal with each other, whether you are a Jew, a Greek, a slave, or a free person, a man or a woman. And what Galatians really said is, now that the time has come, we are no longer under that guardian, and you are all of you sons of God through faith in Jesus. See how they took out sons of God? All baptized in Christ. You are all clothed in Christ, and there are no more distinctions between Jew, Greek, slave, free, male or female. All of you are one in Christ.
For more information on Mother Angelica, visit Religious Catalog at EWTNRC.com.
Your favorite EWTN radio programs are all over social media. All your favorite programs are available right now. Check us out on Instagram. Just search for EWTN Radio. Remember, EWTN is everywhere.
We're wishing all the Take Two family a happy, very happy St. Patrick's Day to you. So we love the fact that we have full phone lines right now. That means that you want to take part in this conversation. So when a line becomes open, please jump on it as quick as you possibly can. 833-288-3986 is the number to call. Before we get to Ed in Philadelphia, I just wanted to mention, Jerry, if I may, this just wonderful. I want to highlight the media missionaries, the EWTN media missionaries. And they prayerfully take EWTN to parishes churches and the community through the print and electronic media that EWTN provides. You can help EWTN share the good news by becoming a media missionary. All you have to do is visit EWTNmissionaries.com today and join us in sharing the eternal word with the world. I love that.
Awesome.
Share it with the world.
Yeah, you sometimes think, well, what can I do to help out? That is a great way to help out, become an EWTN media missionary. Okay, as promised, we are going to start with Ed in Philadelphia. Ed is listening to the program on Holy Spirit Radio. Ed, thanks for being back on the program. Welcome back.
Thank you. We spoke a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I knew it. Wait a minute, Ed. I have to stop you. I told Jerry this on break. I said I think that's our Ed that from a couple years ago. And Ed, I was actually going to email you next week. And this is so amazing that you are calling in.
Wow.
So welcome.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, way back. Well, first of all, my mother's Italian, my dad's Irish, and I have a daughter that was born on St. Joseph's Day. So I get everything.
Awesome. Beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah, but on Saturday, me and my friends, we host a Man Up Spirituality Conference, and we'll have 1,500 men will show up, and it's a one-day conference. It's amazing. 30 priests there. Everybody gets to go to confession. 4 great speakers, and that's a great day. And then what I think you may remember me for is I used to run prayer services. I still do, and I'll get 500 people will show up on Tuesday night at my prayer service. 500 people, and all I am is in a church. We play rock and roll music, and I get people to get up there and share a story, and we have a little theme, and this one's called For the Greater Good. And we've got a lot of friends that have passed away. I'm getting up there in age. I'm 63, so we had some friends that have left us. But there's a greater good, and my best friend had passed away, Lefty, and as a result, I said we need to get in the church and pray for him. And as a result, I created this thing called Team Hope, and we have 6,000 members. So 400 to 500 people will show up on Tuesday night, and it's just a great night. Everybody gets inspired, and we realize that even though we have tough times and challenges, there is a silver lining, and God has a plan, and you just have to trust Him.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I love what you're doing. I just absolutely love it. I think it's amazing to get all the men together on a regular basis, and then the Man Up, the big conference. I mean, this is huge ministry work, and to have men come together like that, I think it can really transform the culture. It can really help shape the world. We need more Eds around the world. So thank you for everything you do, and you do it with such joy. Every time we've ever spoken to you, Ed, and I forgive me because I think you, when you first called us, didn't you go by Eddie? So is it Ed or Eddie?
Yeah, Eddie Mo. That's my nickname. Ed Mark.
Yeah,
my nickname is Eddie Mo.
That's
yeah,
what I thought. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. But Eddie, I got to tell you, you know what? You've always brought such a light into the conversations, and I can just imagine that same light, it radiates out when you're with the men. And I mean this, we need more men like you, because it's not happening in other parts of the world, and it's very unfortunate. And so I hope there's a ripple effect to everything you're doing, that it spreads past Pennsylvania, and it reaches all the other states and then reaches worldwide. And it can do that. It just takes it. When you say, Jerry, it just takes that momentum, that motion to keep going.
Yeah, and it's interesting the timing of your call, Eddie, because I was just talking with a deacon in my parish last night. I've talked to my pastor. We don't have a men's group or anything like that going right now. There was one a few years ago, and I think, like many things, it was a casualty of COVID and things like that. But I've talked to the pastor about bringing that back, and it's been on my heart. I've been thinking, wow, well, what if we only get 2 or 3 or 4 guys starting out to do this? And I thought, you know what? That's a men's group. That God, humble beginnings, I'm sure, is where you came from. And to hear that you've got all of those men now, the spirituality conference coming up, the 500 people showing up on Tuesday nights. I'm sure it didn't start off with 500, but you've worked hard to build that up there. So you've given me encouragement and inspiration, Eddie, to really dive into this deeply with my parish and see what God can put together. So thank you for that.
Sure, and it's funny you say that. We started off with 3 people.
There you go.
Wow.
Great. And every Friday morning we have 90 men. Every Friday morning we have a gospel reflection. 90 guys every morning at 7:30 in the morning. Some drive an hour to get there, And that's been going on for 18 years. And that's morphed into the Man Up Spirituality Conference. And then one day I'm at that thing. I said, you know what? I got to do something that includes the women, too. And on Tuesday night, I have my prayer services. But I'm going to have an 18-year-old girl, Lily Walker, who has an inoperable brain tumor, and she's going to get up and speak in front of 400 people, 18 years old. And she'll talk about how the tumor is a gift. And then another boy, 18 years old, graduating from Archbishop Carroll. His father had passed away, but our friend said, don't worry about it. And we told my friend Todd, don't worry about your son Sal. We'll get him a 4-year education at Archbishop Carroll. We'll take care of him. Well, he's graduating this year, straight A's, and the captain of the basketball team, and he wasn't even a starter. So he's going to get up and speak in front of everybody. And then another guy, Mountain McGilvery, he coaches the LaSalle women's basketball team at LaSalle University. He has 8 children, and his 8th child, Emily, has leukemia, but she's in remission, and he's going to get up there to talk about his beautiful life, even with Emily. And it's just nothing but positive stuff. And everybody will leave saying, you know what? I can't complain here. I just got to find the good in whatever's going on. And they leave flying high. It's such a great night. And I have a St. Padre Pio glove at the event, too.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, that's incredible. Eddie, I just wanted to say to you, congratulations on the ministry work you're doing, and may God continue to pour abundant blessings on everything that you touch and that you want to pass on to others, to the men and the women. And also, will you tell the fine folks at Holy Spirit Radio, we wish them a happy anniversary. We understand it's 23 years of broadcasting the Catholic faith over the radio airwaves. That's pretty incredible. 23 years. So I'm sure it's done a lot of good in your area. So please thank the fine folks at Holy Spirit Radio for us, okay?
Great. If you ever get to the Philadelphia area, we'd love to have you guys talk with us.
Great. We will keep that in mind. We remember the conversations we've had about that, Eddie. So thank you so much. 833-288-3986. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Are you Irish? Call in and give a shout out for that, or whatever your heritage is. We want to just cast the net widely today. We are a universal church, a universal people of God, and we all should be proud of the heritage that we have, the faith that's been a part of that, the food, the family, the fun, the fellowship, all of that. So what would you like to share today? 833-288-3986.
Okay, we're going to go to Jane, and Jane is in Athens, Georgia, listening on Sirius XM 130. Happy St. Patrick's Day, Jane.
Thank you. You too. I've got a fun St. Patrick's Day story. My husband's Irish, our last name's Sullivan, and he was the first to get married in his family, and we were the first to have a Sullivan grandchild. And my due date was actually in April, and everybody kind of laughed and said, oh, wouldn't it be fun if she came early? Well, she did. She was born on St. Patrick's Day, and her name is Erin. So every year we have a huge, huge event for her. Growing up, we always had parties. We would go to downtown Atlanta and see the parade, and, of course, the family got together and did special things. And then when I had my second daughter, we named her Shannon, and she wanted to know why her birthday only lasted one day, but Erin's lasted a week.
Oh, that is
so that's
hilarious.
our heritage, and now Shannon has had a son, and his name is Ryan. So we're keeping it in the names.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let Debbie comment, Jane, but I just have to say I can sympathize because I have one day for my birthday and Debbie gets a whole week. She gets an octave for her birthday in November. So, I feel a little bit left out too. So,
Right. I have to ask you, Jane, do you do the corned beef and cabbage? Do you do the whole thing? Decorate the house in green? Everybody wears green?
Yep, we've got the house decorated. We got the flags out. It's a high holy day for the Sullivan household.
I love it.
And then, of course, living in Athens, we're members at St. Joseph Catholic Church, and we're celebrating his feast day on Saturday with the parish. So we'll have a mass and pancake breakfast, and hope everybody in the parish turns out to celebrate that with us too.
Awesome.
It's a great week. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. Well, I'm a member of St. Joseph Parish as well, and so Saturday we're having at the Vigil Mass for Sunday, the 5:30 Saturday Mass, and then we're having a spaghetti dinner after that.
Oh, okay.
And then we're having a special specifically St. Joseph Mass on Monday. It'll be the 21st, but we're having, because it falls on a Saturday, we have the regular Sunday vigil, so we're doing a special Mass for St. Joseph on Monday.
Oh,
Right,
nice.
right.
Nice.
Well,
Very nice.
we started a new tradition at St. Joseph several years ago. We give out a St. Joseph Award, and it goes to a parishioner who's nominated and voted on, and someone that shows the virtues of St. Joseph. And because not a lot is written about St. Joseph, we don't know a lot about him. But one of the things that we kind of pick up on is the winners of this award tend to be those people who are behind the scenes, giving freely, showing their generosity, their servant leadership. And so every year we give out that award as part of our celebration for St. Joseph as well.
Beautiful.
That's special. Yeah. Yeah, the quiet servants, the ones that really are doing the hard work and don't want any of the spotlight or attention, then they get the award. I love that. That is so appropriate, Jane.
Anyway, so that's our story. So y'all have a happy St. Patrick's Day and enjoy the weekend.
You too. Thanks for
Thank
being
you.
part of the conversation today.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We need a Patricia to call in who was born on St. Patrick's Day. And a Patrick to call in.
And a Patrick, yeah.
And a Patrick, yeah. That would be great. Okay, so if you're named Patricia, Patrick, call in 833-288-3986. That's the number to call. We're celebrating St. Patrick's Day today on Take Two, but we're also celebrating your heritage, whatever that is. And if you want to share anything special that's going on in your life, we love to share it with you because we're a family, Jerry and we really believe that. Don't you feel very... just really honored when people email us and say, you really do act like a family. And we really do. And I love that. I love that we're actually displaying what we really believe inside. Maybe it's because we long to have, maybe it's because we're both from big families and we just can't be alone.
Well, it is a beautiful thing to have the Take Two family around the world and participating in the show every day, including today, 833-288-3986. I'm looking at an open phone line just for you right now. Celebrate your heritage. Let us know what it is, how meaningful it is to you. We're going to go next to Sue in Massachusetts, a first-time caller listening on the Station of the Cross. Hi, Sue. Welcome to Take Two.
Hello. How are you?
Great. How are you doing on this St. Patrick's Day?
I'm doing great. The reason why I called in was because, well, first of all, I have a Polish heritage, but my granddaughter was born on St. Patrick's Day, and so today she is 17 years old, and I'm just so proud of her.
Oh, I love that. Do you want to give us her first name and we can put her in the book so we could say a happy birthday prayer? Yeah.
Yes, her name is Emma.
Emma. Oh, I love that.
And I always call her Emma Dilemma.
I love it. That's beautiful. 17. Wow. I'm sure, what is she looking forward to in doing with life and school and everything? Does she have big plans?
Well, she really wants to do something. She's a big movie buff, and she loves Disney, and she's wants to get involved somehow in, movies, not being a, movie star, but being behind the scenes doing designs and things like that. Yeah, her name is actually Emma Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we always call her Miss Emma Thompson.
Well, it's interesting that you're sharing this, Sue, because my sister got me hooked on a bunch of faith-based production companies that do a lot of films that have some element of a faith, a faith foundation to it in that direction. So really beautiful, well-produced movies, even some animated things for the younger audience. And I don't know if you've ever thought about maybe encouraging Emma to look up some of these production companies that have recently just surfaced. They are doing some fine work, and I will tell you, I was shocked at the following of some of these film companies, because you're talking, it's a big deal. I would say it could potentially be a good competition against the secular Hollywood media. What do you think, Sue?
I think that would be great.
Yeah.
I'd love to see her do that.
Yeah. Well, the only reason I say that is because it would be great for people of faith to glorify God in the gifts that they have been given. And it sounds like Emma has big dreams, and that's a wonderful thing. And we put her in the book, Sue, and God bless you. Thank you so much for sharing today on St. Patrick's Day. What do you think, Jer?
833-288-3986. Molly is next. Audra, we have Becky and Jack and others we're going to get to today.
This is a Messy Family Minute with Mike and Alicia Hernan. Through our Lenten fasting and prayer, we learn how to control ourselves and thus give ourselves more freely to others. And since we have all been called to the married vocation, the first people we need to give ourselves to is our family. Instead of giving your family what you owe them, lavish them with love above and beyond what they deserve, as our Father does with us.
The first person to love lavishly is our spouse. Take time to ask them how you can show mercy to them this Lent. Learn how to love them even more. Maybe rid yourself of a habit that they find annoying. These habits may not be wrong, but it shows that you're ready to give above and beyond what is required.
You can also create healthier habits regarding things that are not desirable for your family. Maybe it's refraining from negative humor and sarcasm. Maybe it's not raising your voice. Making a resolution to change how we relate to our family is an effective use of time this Lent. Maybe even more than giving up chocolate.
For more inspiration and encouragement, visit messyfamilyminute.org.
You can be a part of Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. Text EWTN to 55000. Wait for a response, then text us with your first name and question. It's that easy. Message and data rates may apply.
The most original and exclusive Catholic content is on EWTN Radio.
On EWTN News In Depth, our exclusive series Life After Roe Debate in the States continues. Plus, 2 years after COVID-19 lockdowns, our report on changes in church attendance nationwide. Join us for EWTN News In Depth tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on EWTN Radio and television.
Hi, this is Janet Williams. We embrace the essence of feminine spirituality on Women of Grace tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern here on EWTN Radio. Now, back to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
It's Take Two with Jerry and Debbie, and you and the show team behind the scenes, but very, very vital to the broadcast every day. Ace McKay, our producer, Jeff Burson on social media, and we have Matt Gabensky on the phones, and he is busy screening calls right now. And we do have a line open, too, at 833-288-3986 on this St. Patrick's Day. A lot of people celebrating being Irish, wishing they were Irish for a day. Maybe you are. We'd love to hear about what that means to you or whatever your heritage happens to be. And we heard from Astrid via email at take2@ewtn.com. Greetings, Jerry and Debbie. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you. Same back to you, Astrid. She writes, I don't have an Irish bone in my body. I'm 100% German. However, I admire St. Patrick's courage and faithfulness. He is worthy of honors. I invited friends over to celebrate this afternoon to share stories, and I'm about to prepare and bake Irish soda bread because it tastes so good. Blessings to you and all the listeners. That is from Astrid.
Oh, that sounds delicious. I love that. Astrid's so sweet. We hope you enjoy your celebration. That's wonderful. Okay, we'll go back to the phones, and Molly is up next in Maryland, listening on Sirius XM 130. Hi, Molly. Welcome.
Hi, wonderful Debbie and Jerry. And yes, we're Irish. And the first part of my comment is we do corned beef and cabbage. We put like green food coloring in the toilet bowl, in the orange juice, in my husband's oatmeal. We have a box that we call Elf O'Brien that my daughters have decorated with crepe paper and spray painted noodles. And so they open up the box, and then the next morning they hunt for what Elf O'Brien has hidden in the box. They have to look for the box. And so corned beef and cabbage, we celebrate it all the way. But the reason I'm calling, the second reason, is I just wanted people, I've been listening to you both for a long time, and I've totally respected and admired the advice, suggestions you give based in faith. And I did not know until recently that you can make appointments. And I'm trying to share this as a hope for the other people listening. It's hard to find someone. It's called life coaching. It's not counseling, but I call it counseling from Debbie, but it's called life coaching. And I want to share with all the listeners how you can, you know where Debbie and Jerry are coming from. So when I've called Debbie and made these appointments, anyone can make them. I know where her heart is, and it's just been wonderful. And I just, on this day of St. Patrick's Day, hope and love, I just wanted other people to know about that. I know you've said it, but perhaps I never heard it till the last month. And it's been a wonderful blessing and gift. And I know where the tools are coming from. The tools are coming from Jesus Christ. And Debbie, I just want to say thank you for all your help. And that's it.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm like overwhelmed with emotion. Molly, that was really, really sweet. And I'll always remember this St. Patrick's Day because of this beautiful gift that you have given us and me especially. And I love you back. I think you're just an incredible mom. You have a great family. And I love the fact now I'm very visual. Okay. So now that I know you put green dye in everything, I'm just wondering, see, this is the way my mind works, Molly. Thank you for the great compliment. And God bless you for that. But let me just ask you this question. Doesn't the green dye stain? See, that's what would bother me, is that the green dye would get on things and then it would be permanently green the rest of the year.
Well, my mother always did it with red for Valentine's Day. So I don't know. Our toilet bowls, the orange juice container, the gravy looks kind of gross with green in it. But my mother, maybe that's why I am who I am, because I've had so much red and green dye in my life. But I don't know. It was a lot of fun. So thank you so much.
I love it, Molly. God bless you. I love that. You know what? I think I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to get out the food coloring. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I've had green food in my fridge before.
You have? Oh, no. Yeah. You mean because it got old?
Yeah.
Okay. But that's kind of cool, though. That's what they do with green beer, right? They just put the green food coloring in it?
Well, I think so, yeah. And like places like Chicago, it's very well known. They dye the river green. It runs through the city. And
I think that's cool. I'm going to do that from now on. Molly just gave me a great idea. I'm going to do it for Valentine's Day. We could do it for Christmas. You could still do green, right? You could do green, and then St. Patrick's Day. Thank you, Molly. We get these great practical tips and fun tips to do in our homes. I love it. It kind of ties in nicely to tomorrow's topic. We're going to be talking about how your house feels like a home, right? And so it's very unique. I love that. Thank you, Molly. You made our day. Okay, where are we going next?
Wanted to mention that Rock is watching the video on YouTube. Rock says, I'm part German, Slovak, and what my dad called, quote, European mutt. So, Rock, thanks for weighing in on that. I'm sure you have great pride in whatever the different heritages are that you are a part of, or that are part of you, I should say. And Colette says she's watching on YouTube as well. I am Irish from my mother and German from my father. It was my grandfather who was in World War II, and they changed the family last name. My father was a Lutheran before he met my mother, and he converted to Roman Catholicism when they married. So Rock and Colette, thanks for weighing in, watching the video stream of today's show on YouTube.
We're waving to you guys. And I just received a text message saying, could you mention what Molly was sharing? It's actually our life coaching ministry, and you can find it at standtalltoday.com. And we actually have a marriage seminar webinar via Zoom coming up the end of March, and you can see all the details there. Lisa Jones will be heading it. She's amazing, and that's at standtalltoday.com. Okay, Audra's up next in Oklahoma, listening on Oklahoma Catholic Radio. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you, Audra.
Happy St. Patrick's Day to you all. So I wanted to share a little bit about my Irish heritage and my husband. We are both. I'm 28%. He's 89%. We're very proud of that. But we were blessed a few years back to go to Ireland, and we took a tour, which was really informative. I recommend everybody taking the tour just to get all the information that you can. But we have been longtime volunteers of St. Vincent de Paul at our parish at St. John. And, of course, we went to Mass. We found as soon as we could find a Catholic church, we went to Mass. And we were very surprised when we came out of Mass that there was a St. Vincent de Paul table set up out in front of this little parish in Killarney. And I'm probably going to say it wrong, but Killarney County, maybe. But we took pictures, and we were just really surprised. So St. Vincent de Paul is everywhere. And it was just a really special time. We were able to trace back some of our relatives from there, and we purchased certificates of Irish authenticity. It was just a really special time.
Sounds like it. I'm just curious, Audra, how do you get those percentages so precise? As you were mentioning that.
I know. Ancestry, I recommend it.
Oh.
Very precise. And our children are 58%.
Okay.
Wow.
And my maiden name is Ryan, and my married name is O'Hearn, and of course we named our son Ryan O'Hearn. So that's our only son, but we kept it in the family. But it was a really, I guess it just goes to show no matter where you're at in the world, if you find a Catholic church, you're just going to have that bond, and it was just really special, the whole experience. And it's like they say, we got off the plane and we honestly felt like we were home. And because of our heritage, the food, everything, it was magical. There were rainbows everywhere you looked. Exactly what you hear. It's very true. It's magical. We didn't want to leave, but we had to come back to all of our adult children who got married, and now we have 12 grandkids. So we're glad we came back and didn't bail and live in Ireland. But I certainly can understand why people do want to live there. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. We have a lot of listeners from Ireland.
Yeah.
We made a comment that we always want to go there. We would love to go there. If we did like a pilgrimage, would you come with us again?
Absolutely. I would go every year if I could. And it's just, once you're there, you don't want to come back. But of course you're going to come back, but it's just a beautiful place. And that I recommend the tour because they're so animated on the tour and give you so many details that you never knew about Ireland. And I just recommend that. Yes, I would go on a pilgrimage in a heartbeat. Absolutely.
We should do that. The only problem is, Audra, you don't know us very well. We might not come back. We might stay there.
Same thing. We had a plan. And if you have Irish ancestry, Irish heritage, if you have adult children, at that time our children were all in college, and the tour guide said that all of your children could live here and go to school free here. So we were ready to ship them all to Ireland and let them pay for their college. So we changed our mind. Everything worked out, but what a great experience that was.
I'll bet.
Wow, nice.
I'll bet. Well, just the way you talk about it, Audra, says how impactful it was for you. And we'll hope and pray that you get to go back, and maybe many times, good Lord willing. But it's obviously holds a great place in your heart, which is just a beautiful thing to hear. That's one of the reasons we did this show today, was to hear beautiful testimonies like yours. So thank you.
Absolutely. And we shared the pictures with our fellow Vincentians when we came back. The picture of my husband standing next to the table with the very humble parishioner collecting money for the needy in their parish. It was a great experience.
Nice.
Love it. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful rest of your day on St. Patrick's Day.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you for the call. Marty's mom, who passed away, I believe she had a little bit of Irish in her. I wonder if that gets us in when we go to Ireland.
I don't know.
We'll have to bring Marty with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Marty, we need you to come with us. I want to go to Scotland too. We should do a whole tour, like of the UK and all around there. That would be fun. Okay, we're just planning out loud while we're doing the show. Why? Because this is what families do. We talk like we're in our virtual living room having a great conversation on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, and we're going to get to more of your calls. Thanks for the patience, those of you waiting on the line. Time permitting, we will get to all of you. Next up in order is Becky, a first-time caller listening in Oak Hill, West Virginia to St. Paul Radio. Hi, Becky. Welcome.
Hello. How are you guys?
Doing great. You sound like you're doing okay today. I hope that's the case.
I am doing wonderful.
Good, good.
I have two things. First, the happy part first. I am on my way to the hospital for the birth of my 12th little Irish person, grandchild. It's my 12th grandchild being born on St. Patrick's Day by cesarean. Last name's Donnelly, very, very Irish. And we have been so blessed, and I'm just so excited. I can't wait to see this little guy. That was my good news. Also, yes, we always celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Today, however, I teach high school, and it's been a somewhat sad day. All of us wore green. We had a student who graduated last year that was killed in a car wreck, and so we all wore green because it was his favorite color in honor of him today. His name was Corbin Clyburn. I think he has some Irish in him also. But if everybody could keep that family in their prayers, we would appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was so sorry to hear about that. That's got to be hard for all of the kids in the school. You said 1 year, I think you said graduated last year. So, most of the students in the school, even currently, probably knew this young man. And so very, very sad. We'll definitely keep him and his entire family in our prayers. What a horrible thing to go through. But a beautiful way for you all to honor him. You mentioned that his favorite color was green. So not only is it meaningful for all of you on St. Patrick's Day to don the green, but also you've got him in your minds and in your hearts, and that's a very, very beautiful thing. And Becky, you can be assured that we will all, the Take Two family around the world, be lifting up Corbin as well.
Thank you. Yeah.
And Becky, I put you and your entire family and the arrival of your 12th grandchild. Yeah. I put you in the book, so you got a lot of Take Two family prayers for your entire family.
Oh, thank you. Well, she's having to have a cesarean, and she's really nervous, so I appreciate that. Like, all the prayers we can get, we want.
Absolutely. What's her first name, Becky?
Her first name is Emily.
Emily. Okay. I just want to make sure
Emily
we like
Donnelly.
Okay, we like to pray by first name. So, we'll pray that her fears get calmed and she has a peaceful. Everything works well in the delivery room and everything's great, and then you get to hold that grandchild of yours.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited. You can probably hear that. I'm talking a mile a minute, and I know that. I'm just so excited.
We are
Beautiful.
As well.
Yeah.
Yeah. That it's a celebration time. So, Becky, thank you so much. Thanks for sharing it with us.
Thank you, guys. Have a great St. Patrick's Day.
You do the same. Yeah, and of course, part of the programming lineup today and every weekday is Call to Communion with Dr. David Anders. Actually, it's Monday through Saturday afternoons, 2 Eastern Time, with encores at 11 Eastern Time on EWTN Radio. They ask, what's stopping you from becoming Catholic? Well, whatever that is, there is I think, a rational and understandable response to that. Dr. David Anders has the answers. Called to Communion, Monday through Saturday, 2 Eastern Time, and encores at 11 Eastern Time on most of these same EWTN radio stations.
Okay, back to the phones we shall go. Mary Ellen is up next in New Hampshire, listening on the iCatholic radio app. Hi, Mary Ellen.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, you guys.
Thank you.
Did I pronounce your name correctly?
What, Mary Ellen?
Okay, good. Yeah, I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome.
Thank you. I just want to say it's a simple little story that we had a very strict Lent in our homes growing up. And on St. Patrick's Day, we got, as we watched the parade, we could have candy. And my brothers and I still crack up, but we always have to have a piece of candy on St. Patrick's Day, even if it's Lent, So I just wanted to say that. It was just so sweet.
But you know what? You know what is sweet about that? You see how you remember that, and then you have to repeat that, because it's bringing back a beautiful visual experience, a time in your life where it left an impact. And I love that. I think I think things like that, we need more of that. Jerry does it with song because he was a DJ in his past life, and so songs, bring him back to a certain time, right, Jerry? A certain time in your life. But these things are very important. That it just goes to show how different events in our life leave a lasting impact. What do you think?
They do. They absolutely do. And three of my grandparents were from Ireland. And so it was just a big day in our family. And I don't remember a big party or anything. It was just a really solid day. And as an adult, I have always gone to Mass on St. Patrick's Day to thank him for my faith. Because we're all from Ireland, so if he didn't convert Ireland, who knows? I could be a pagan. So I do thank him for the faith. I mean, that's really what my St. Patrick's Day tradition is, just going to Mass and thanking St. Patrick.
Right.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, well, and again, that gets at the core of what it's all about. It's a Catholic saints' feast day amid all the other festivities and food and fun and family and fellowship, which are all really beautiful and can be a very, very meaningful part of all of that. It really is. It should point us closer to God. It should lead us closer to God, direct our hearts and minds to heaven, and help us to realize that, St. Patrick, among all of the other saints, and it's our calling too, each and one of us by our baptism, to be, evangelizers, to take the good news out, maybe not to faraway places in the world like St. Patrick did, but right in our own families, in our own neighborhoods, our own workplaces. So good reminder, Mary Ellen.
Thank you, Mary Ellen. Okay, so real quickly, this is what happens to me. When you think of the Knights of Columbus, what candy do you think of? Quickly.
Tootsie Rolls.
Exactly.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, right, yeah.
It's Tootsie Rolls.
My Turkish taffy, I had to have a Turkish taffy.
Oh, I love
but
it.
there's a lady called in about the St. Joseph Award in her parish.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to do, I work at a Catholic nonprofit, and I'm the only paid employee. And all the work is done by volunteers, and I am going to start our first annual St. Joseph Award for one of the volunteers who works behind the scenes, and no one even knows he's a volunteer, and he's the longest-running one.
Wow.
So she gave me that great idea, and I can't wait to go in and print out an award.
Awesome.
Oh, that is really cool. Will you email us that idea? Will you email that to us if you get a chance?
Sure, I will.
Okay, take2 at EWTN.com.
All right. Well, thank you, guys. I love the show. Love when I get to talk to you. So God bless you.
Thank
you. Keep going.
God bless you too, Mary Ellen. Thanks. Yeah, great calls coming in. Still several more we're going to try to get to, time permitting. Jack is in the Boston area listening on the station of the Cross. Hello, Jack. Thanks for joining us today.
Yes, it's a pleasure to be with you.
Yeah.
Appreciate all that you do. You do great work. And I don't want to put a downer on what you're saying. All people are wonderful. And there's a lot of distractions in the world, and that's why the world is the way it is. We're all children of God. And our ethnicity and so forth really is a distraction. I was raised in an area that was predominantly Irish, and there was an Italian family, and they used to use poor names towards that person. And one of my grandparents was Italian. And I didn't have the courage to speak up and say, that's no way to do things. And that's where the problem is. We're pitting each other against each other when we're all children of God. And I think that's the problem in the world. Everyone's trying to rise to the top. There is no top. The top is Jesus Christ, as you folks know. And before I go on, can you tell me the parish that Eddie is in Philadelphia area? He mentioned it, but I didn't get a chance to make note of it.
Let me look at my notes. If you email us, Jack, I could give, because I have Eddie's email.
Oh, okay. If that's okay with him, yes, I'll do that. for sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, please. It's take two at EWTN.com, and I have Eddie's email. I don't see his parish listed here, but the men's conference is coming up. Did you catch the parish, Jerry?
I take notes, but I usually erase them after each call. So.
Yeah. I don't see it. Okay, if you email us, Jack, we'll happily get that to you, okay?
I'm trying to do that in this area of the Boston area of getting men. Actually, just for the sake of people listening, there's a conference April 2nd in the Worcester Diocese for men, and the wonderful speakers and so forth. So any men that wants to get together with other men and share their faith, they're more than welcome. So you hear what I'm saying about, the distractions. And the distraction, the world distracts us. There's no doubt whatsoever. And that's always been since Jesus' time.
Right.
Go
well,
ahead.
Jack, you know what? I agree with you that we are all children of God, no matter, how, we arrived here on this earth, but we're children of God. And the sooner we recognize that, then we can flourish. We can appreciate one another. The cultures and the heritage, that makes us very unique. But I think when we, ask questions and understand where people's come froms are, and we appreciate their culture, and we open it up instead of being kind of maybe walled off and distant because we feel like we are going to be the target of somebody saying something. That's unfortunate, and I agree with you on that. I think if we can recognize whose we are, okay, that God loves us so very, very much. He created us so uniquely. He appointed a guardian angel for each and every one of us. He handpicked the guardian angel, handpicked to personality match us. That's pretty incredible. And so I do agree with you on that. I think if we could all be under the banner of children of God, we'd be much better off, I think, in the long run, when it comes to, getting along and having a good community feel, because we're made for community. What do you think, Jer?
Well, I agree with you completely, and you, Jack, as well. I'm sort of, no, I shouldn't say chuckling inside, but I think about, how families sometimes act toward each other, and so I don't know that we'll ever be able to completely eliminate the unfortunate ways that we treat one another. But if we strive for that, absolutely, Jack, especially in the times that we're living in right now, with Satan is the father of division, and he wants us to be divided and to have hatred and violence, and there's so much of that in the world right now. I would just add to that, though. I think recognizing where God chose to put us in human history and the heritage that is. I mean, last night I was helping with RCIA in my parish, and the scrutiny for this Sunday, the gospel reading, is about the woman at the well, and Jesus himself says, salvation is from the Jews. So Jesus himself points out, he was a faithful Jew, as were Mary and Joseph and others. So I think there's room for both here, but I'm very much in agreement with what you said, Jack, about all of us acknowledging our common heritage as children of God. The world would be a much better place if we could do that and do it effectively.
But don't you see, we focus on the other things instead of you don't hear anyone talking about God. And that's the problem.
Yeah. Well,
in the situation, even in families, we're trying to establish a program in this area where people will come home and talk about God and so forth. And we're all afraid of that because we're stigmatized. But it's the basis of, that's where joy comes from.
Right. Yeah, Jack, absolutely. Sorry, brother, you hear that music. We'd love to go on and continue the conversation. Beth in Massachusetts wanted to talk about her son Sean making boiled dinner tonight. Colleen in Maryland says their first generation Irish American, their first humanitarian mission in the U.S. was to Ireland during the Great Famine. So Beth and Colleen, I wish we had time for you today, but you hear that music, Debbie. It happens every day.
Yeah, this was a great discussion, though, and we just love the Take Two family. We wish you all a happy St. Patrick's Day, and tomorrow we're going to be talking about, does your house feel like a home? That's tomorrow's show. Until then, have a beautiful and blessed day. See you real soon.
This is Conversations with Consequences, where we delve deeper into issues affecting our church, our country, and our core, the family.
As Catholics, we need to be informed, aware, and able to talk through some of the tough topics that we're facing